Hi there, this is David Sale, the Sage Cataloging Specialist, and I'm going to be demonstrating in this video resetting the 008 and the 007 fixed fields for a record. Now, we've got a record here in the system. It's for a self-published resource, essentially. So we know that we're not going to find a better written record on Z3950 or OCLC. We just need to fix the one we've got. So the problem here is that the record is for a video recording, says so there in the GMD, but the icon that displays is for a book. So what can we do to fix this? Well, the answer is here in the MARC edit scene. Now, the fixed field display here, the grid, corresponds to field 008 in the record. And in fact, the same information here, the same letter codes, appears in both places. This grid display is simply a way to make it more legible to the human eye. So one problem we'll notice right away is that it says up here record type books. That's not what it should be. And the reason why it's not is because the type code over here is set to A. That's not the correct code for a video recording. It should be G. So if we save the record, even just with that minor change, we see already it changes to a visual material fixed field grid display. How do you know what are the correct codes to put in the grid? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because here at the OCLC public web page for bibliographic formats and standards, the web address is here, oclc.org/bibformats, or you can just Google OCLC bibliographic formats. And they have what is probably the easiest to use guide on fixed field elements and codes. So here it is, and the menu is over here on this side. So if we want to know what the correct code is for type, well, we simply go to that page, scroll down a bit, and here it says G, projected mediums, motion pictures, video recordings, Okay. So using that reference, you can then go through and supply some of the other codes that ought to appear in this record. For instance, description. Well, let's see. DESC description, or descriptive cataloging form. Okay, so this has to do with whether or not the record is RDA enhanced. And the answer is yes, so we leave it blank. There's something a little weird here with the date. The date of publication is not identified for this material. So let's take a look here at dates and see what it has to say. Okay, use U for missing digits, correct. Okay, and DTST is type of date, okay, and S is single date. Well, actually, the date is unknown. We want unknown date, so that should be N. And so, as you see, using the OCLC bibliographic formats, and let me just go back a second here. So, using this website, you will be able to figure out what goes in each square of this grid. So If we take a look here, though, in the opaque view, that gets rid of the book um, icon, but there should be a icon for a video cassette here, since this is a motion picture on video cassette. So to set that aspect of the display, we need to add a 007 field to the record. What is a 007 field, you ask? Well, it is a supplement to the information in 008, and it specifies details for materials other than books. Now, to add a 007 field to the record, right-click over here in the leader column. So you right-click with the mouse, and then instead of just inserting a blank row, you want to choose Add Replace 007. Okay, so now we have the row here, and we can see this in flat. It's all blank here. It's much easier to do this in the ruled view like I'm doing. For one thing, you can use the physical characteristics wizard in this view. So when I said that the 007 field provides supplementary information for non-text material, here's an example of what I mean. The first thing you're asked to identify in the wizard is it a map, electronic like a computer software or a playaway? Is it a sound recording? Is it a video recording? There we go. Now, please don't choose motion picture for VHS and DVDs. This is only for like actual film from the movie theater. VHS and DVDs are both considered video recordings. So are Blu-rays, etc. Okay, video recording. And now we proceed to fill in the appropriate values here. Video cassette. Color, no, it's black and white. Video recording format, this is the big one. There's DVD, Blu-ray, VHS. Now, there's some other formats here, but we don't circulate those. So, in setting this, by the way, if you have a DVD and a Blu-ray together in the same set, go for the Blu-ray, please. So, VHS for the moment. Sound is always on medium with the VHS and with the DVDs. Medium for sound. Magnetic audio tape and cartridge. No, videotape is actually the proper term here. Dimensions. This one's a little tricky. Videotape is 1/2 inch wide, so we put that value in. Configuration of playback channel. We don't know. So we also have reason to believe this may be a VHS transfer of a silent film. So we'll put in unknown. Now notice that you usually have a choice of unknown, other, or not applicable for all of these values. So if you are uncertain, you can choose that option. So now we have here this set of letter codes in 007, and we save the record. The computer reads those and applies the correct display icon here, VHS. So that is one example of how it works. I'm going to pause the video for a moment here. We're going to come back and take a look at another common situation when you use 007, and that is for audio in addition to video. Here, okay, this is another example here, and in this case it's a audio book or a sound recording that has been identified as a book, a textbook in the display icon. So again, this is a situation that we resolve by correcting the values in field 008 and in 007. Now, for this particular example, because there is an ISBN in the record, it would be faster to simply overlay this record if you have the system permission to do so. However, this is a demonstration, so we're going to go through it kind of the long way here. Again, when the wrong icon for that material type is appearing, the first thing you need to check is the type here. Again, type value A is for book, and a type value of I is for audiobook. I for audiobooks either on cassette or on CD, and J for music, whether that's on cassette or on CD. Now, there are a few things we can do here, such as put the proper date into the fixed fields. And we can also supply a location in country where this material was published. NY for New York, U for United States. Okay, now we can tell that this is moving in the correct direction because we've reset the record type here to REC, sound recording, instead of BKS for books. However, as you'll see here in the public display, we haven't yet applied the 007 field to generate the display icon. And as we look here, we see that this particular resource is on cassette. So that's all right. We'll simply supply the correct values here in the 007 field to distinguish that it is a recording of spoken word on cassette, some of which is the same information that is recorded down here in fields 336, 337, and 338. Or should be, but those, it turns out, have been incorrectly filled in as well on the basis of it being assumed to be a book in print. So we will supply the proper information here. Spoken word, audio, cassette. And we have a list of what all of the proper 336, 7, and 8 values are. That's another video. So now, and I've mentioned that this feature works best in the ruled view here. So right-click on the leader column, choose Add Replace 007, and right-click again to open up the Physical Characteristics wizard. Now, here we choose Sound Recording and identify it as being a cassette. Speed. It may interest you to know that 1 7/8 inches per second is the speed that cassettes play at. We can usually assume stereophonic recording for audiobooks. Groove width, not applicable. These aren't LPs. They're not on vinyl. Dimensions. Unknown. We don't know how big of a box that these cassettes are in. Tape width. 1/8 of an inch is the width of the tape that's inside a cassette, in case you didn't know that. And the configuration is half track because, you know, there's two sides, side A and side B. Special playback. Not applicable. They're just cassettes. There's no special playback. They're capture and storage. Acoustical capture, direct storage, analog electrical. That's a good way to describe magnetic tape. So we choose OK, and there we are. Save record. go back to the public view, and there's the icon that we're looking for, Book on Cassette. So simply by adjusting these values in the fixed fields, we improve the search for our patrons. Now there's another important part of this that we can't neglect to mention, which is that the field 007 controls what appears in the display. But if we want to make this come up in search as being an audiobook on cassette, that is done by field 999. So never forget to add the correct 999 field for the format of this material. That will allow folks who are interested in audiobooks to tell whether they're going to be getting a particular title in CD or in cassette, and that makes a difference to folks. So this concludes the demonstration here on how the 007 and 008 fields work. Thanks for your attention, and have a great day.